guys, I wanted to make a quick video about installing a universal handlebar mounted kill switch on my CB550. So if you guys are following along with the build, you already know that I originally put the kill switch right here into this battery box that I made. It's this center toggle right here. That's not a good place for it because when you pull up and you want to shut the bike off, leave it in gear because you're going to park it and you want to shut the bike off, you can't shut the bike off when it's in gear because your hand's on the clutch. So you can't reach over here and flip that switch or turn the key off because obviously your hand needs to stay on the clutch while it's in gear. So I was kind of looking on the internet and trying to figure out what I wanted to do to get a handlebar mounted switch, because I do want to be able to turn it off with the clutch pulled. So what I did is I found a universal switch on Amazon with this guy right here, and I'll throw a link in the description to it as well. It'll probably be an affiliate link, so if you click it and buy it, then I can get credit for it or whatever. But that part doesn't really matter, but I'll send a link to it just so you can see what it is. It's basically just a handlebar mounted switch that's designed to go on 7/8 inch handlebars. They do have a 1-inch variety too, and it's just a simple on-off switch, 2 wires. So on a 550, it's really easy to wire the kill switch. What it is one side of the switch goes to a black, which on these classic Hondas, the blacks are all common power. Keyed on power, so most likely I'll be able to just tap into a open black terminal inside of the headlight. I believe there's some ones that are empty already from some things I got rid of. So one side will go to that. The other will go to a black and white wire. You'll be able to see it better when I remove the tank, but it's a black and white wire that runs to the coils. It's one wire that runs to the coils, and then it splits into two, one for each coil. And that's basically how the kill switch works, is you're just powering, the coils, and either the coils have power or they don't, based on if that switch is flipped or not. So that's what I'm going to do now. It's pretty thin, so I was trying to figure out where I was going to mount it, and I figured out right here in between my throttle assembly and my front brake master cylinder. I just scooted this in just a little bit to make just enough room to put the switch right there. And when my hand is right here, I'll literally just be able to reach and just toggle the switch right there to be able to turn it off. So I can have the clutch pulled with my left hand and then just reach over here. And that's where the factory kill switch is anyway. It's right there on the throttle side of the bike. So it'll be very similar to the stock location. So I'm going to get the bike pulled apart a little bit just to get to the wiring. Then I'll bring you guys back when I get a little bit farther. Alright, I have the seat pulled off and the tank pulled off so you guys can see this a little bit better. If your bike was stock, you would have the wire already nice and close to where you're going to need to run it anyway. Me already putting the kill switch down here, I ran the wire back to this box. But this is the wire you're looking for right here. It's a black with a white stripe wire that goes to the coils. So it goes into this connector here and then splits, and then one wire goes into one coil, one wire goes into the other coil. And this would normally run up to the factory switch on the handlebar. So that'll be a lot easier. Mine now runs all the way to that box. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this right here, and then I can put a new wire on, and I'll solder it and heat shrink it and make sure it's a solid connection. And I'll just run that up here, and then I'll just pull the wire out and get rid of it since I won't need it anymore. If I hadn't tucked all this up and zip tied it and electrical taped it and everything, it would be easier too, but I don't want to cut all that off and redo it. So I'm just going to see if I can cut the wire here, pull as much of it out of this side as possible, and then kind of go from there. So that is the wire you're looking for, is the one that's right by the coils, and it's a black with a white stripe. So it's going to go into one side of your switch, and then it's just literally any black, solid black wire. You can test it with a test light, but it should be a key on power. And those are just going to be the two for each side of your switch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this wire situated and then find my my black power wire. I'm gonna bring you guys back. All right, I got the headlight pulled apart, as you can see. So what you're looking for in here is just a solid black connector. So there's actually one right here that has 2 wires in the back, 2 wires in the front. It has an open slot on it. I don't know if you can see it on the film there, but it's just a solid black wire with multiple connections in it. So what you want to do, you can test that. If you have a test light like I do, just ground one side of it and then stick it in here. Okay, doesn't turn on. I flip my key on, stick it back in here. Now it does light up. So it's key on, I'll keep it in there, turn the key off. So that's how you know the black wires are key on power. So what I'm going to do is get a bullet connector and connect one side of this switch here. So there's just 2 wires coming out. I'll probably peel this back a little bit farther. So one side of this bullet connector is going to go into this black wire. The other one is going to connect to that black with a white stripe that we were talking about before. So it's literally going to be that easy. You know, obviously we're going to make sure all the wires are nice and tucked up and zip tied and everything. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and start to strip some wires back and get some bullet connectors ready so I can hook everything up. Okay, quick overview of how I'm doing the wiring. 2 wires out of the switch. In this case they are blue and red. That doesn't really matter. It also doesn't really matter which one goes to which thing, just because they're either, you know, they're going to have continuity when the switch is on and they're not going to when the switch is off. So there's no real like polarity or anything to this. So I'm just going to happen to do this little bullet connector to the blue one. Then the black with the white stripe I pulled out. One side of it's going to go to the connector that connects to both coils. The other side of it's just going to go to the red side. So it's going to be a, you know, you never really want to like permanently solder in a switch or something into the bike, just because it's always nice to be able to pull it off later. So I'll be able to pull it off one side right there at the coils, the other side right here at that black connection I showed earlier. So I'm going to get these all soldered and heat shrinked and looking good, and then we will actually throw it on the bike. Alright, so I have all the wiring done. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is mount the switch. And like I said earlier, I think right here is going to be a really good spot. So yeah, so we'll just go ahead and mount it right here. Yeah, I got the wiring all done and soldered up and everything, so I'm going to go ahead and mount the switch now. Like I said earlier, I think right here is going to be a perfect spot, so I'm going to go ahead and get it mounted up. Alright, mounted up. Fits in there nicely. You can kind of see. So it's a really good placement when I'm here. I can grab the front brake and I can just reach over my thumb, just hit that switch. So yeah, I have the wiring running back here, so just gonna run it along here, and one of these is gonna go down to that wire with the coils, and then the other one's gonna go right to that black wire. Then we can start to tidy things up. I'll probably zip tie this wire maybe to the throttle cable or somewhere, just to make sure it's nice and tidy, but that should be good to go. And it's a good idea before you throw your headlight back on and get everything all situated, just to test to make sure it does in fact work. Easiest way to do that, still have your test light out. You can stick the test light right in this connector. This is the connector of the black with the white wires. The other one's already hooked up. So in theory, if this light is on, the bike should start. If the light's not on, the bike won't start. So we'll turn the key on. So it's off right now. Flip our switch. It's on. So that's it. So when I get to wherever I'm going, I can just flip that little switch. It'll kill power to the coils, kill the bike. It'll be done easy. When I get back on it and I want to start it, just flip that switch down and I'm ready to go. So easy as that. Alright, got it all put back together, so we'll do one more test here and actually fire it up and make sure it's actually working as it should. Put our kill switch on. Deal. Alright, one last thing I wanted to throw into this video was kind of an update for the subscribers following along to the actual builds themselves. I did get the CB550 registered. I got the title on the way, meaning I transferred it. I'm just waiting for it to actually get mailed to me. Got the tags on it, inspected, everything's perfect. This is my bike legally, and it's registered and it's ready to ride. So everything's great there. I am going to hold on to it for a little while, I decided, because I'm going to do a few more updates to it. So I want to do a modern regulator and rectifier to it. I just showed you guys I updated, putting a proper kill switch in the right spot on it. I may also do an electronic ignition too. I haven't actually messed around with that too much. I had one on my last bike, but it was already on there when I bought it. And it ran really well, but this bike runs really great now, so that'll be kind of on the fence if I do that. But I do want to go ahead and order and do a little how-to video on a modern regulator and rectifier on that. So the CX500, for those who can't see it or don't know anything about it, it's this bike over here on my workbench here. This bike, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to title it, and I was right. And unfortunately, I was right. Long story short, the lady that owned it passed. Her grandson with a different name inherited it, and he has actually since passed too. And so the front of the title says her name, then the back of the title is signed by him, which is a completely different name, different last name and everything. So I have no way to transfer that because it's not signed by the right person. I really wish that they would have just signed it with her name, and that would have been much easier. So what you have to do in Texas is actually what's called a bonded title, and it's not a huge deal. It's a few extra steps you have to go through to get what's called a bonded title, which means you actually get a bond on a percentage of what the bike is worth, and then you can get a title for it, and within 3 years, if anybody shows up at the DMV and says, hey, my bike with X VIN number was stolen, they can get kind of reimbursement. They'll actually get the bond and that kind of stuff. So I know for a fact this bike isn't stolen because I do in fact have the title and everything else. But what I'm actually going to do, I was trying to figure out which route I wanted to go, and I decided to actually sell it to a buddy of mine. He's been looking for a project bike, and I made him a good deal on it, just to help him out and to kind of get it out of my hair and get at least some money back out of it. And he will keep it to ride it, so it's worth him doing the process of a bonded title on it. I was just going to build it to flip it, so it's a little bit harder to sell a bike, and it does diminish the value a little bit to have a bonded title. So I just didn't think there was enough profit margin in this particular bike to do the bonded title route, just because I don't know that I could get the money back out of it. So I'm going to sell it to him, and he's going to build it. We're actually going to build it together. It's going to stay in this garage. I am going to be doing some videos on it. So those of you who wanted to see a CX500 build, it'll be kind of on his schedule and his budget, but we will be filming everything, and it will be built in my garage. So it'll still be on the channel and still get to kind of follow along with that. So that's pretty much it. 550's done, ready to ride. So I'm going to get out. I'll get some riding shots of it, and probably do a final video kind of reveal thing of it being totally done. And like I said, I do have a couple more kind of how-to videos and project stuff planned for it in the future. So that's it for now. If you guys ever have any questions or anything about anything to do with motorcycles, I don't claim to be an expert, but I have built quite a few, and I can certainly help look on online if I don't know the answer off the top of my head or whatever. So let me know if you guys have any questions. If you like the videos, like and subscribe. Thanks to those who already have, and we'll see you on the next one.